now you can hear me. And now I'm here. Sweet. Lisa, hello. Okay. Actually, that sounds like maybe I've got a little loud. Okay. All right, is that better? Actually, that's too low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Well, maybe. Sweet, Mimi's here. Actually, let me make sure I can keep some notes here. Couple of things before we get started. Let me move my little dry erase. Comedy set. Sweet. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Mimi. Hey, Cass. Cassandra. FlowFest is one of my oldest hoop friends from way back in Florida. And Mimi Prunella is from NYC. I'm explaining to Tara who you guys are. All right, welcome, Tara. Welcome back. Tara's just getting, almost literally just getting back in from DC. And, I mean, not DC, NYC. And she was with her, we are old. Well, not really. She said we're old, but she means that in the most positive way. She means that in that we're redefining old. There's an implied redefining. So redefining old. Which I hope we are. Anyway, Tara is just getting back from being in NYC. We've seen her mom, or her daughter, as a mom for Mother's Day. So I hope you had a good Mother's Day. I wrote to all who celebrate, but I really feel like we just need to start putting that on every single holiday. Hey, Shanna, and every single, thing that we celebrate is, I mean, maybe I could understand someone to say, well, maybe it's not necessary, but when I put to all who celebrate, I mean, I'm not, because now there's almost this implication that they should be enjoying the holiday, when you wish them well. And so, like, if you celebrate Mother's Day, then I hope you had a good one. And I certainly do and did. You did? North Carolina does need to have a FlowFest. Shelley, you drove from New Jersey to New York, or? Yeah, I guess you did. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this creativity. So this is the type of class this will be. There, I've been teaching a long time. And certain times in local classes, which is what this is, the rhythm I'm trying to be in, less workshop-y mode and more like local mode with you, is that sometimes, when you're teaching every week, teaching that often affords you to have different types of classes. And some of the classes that I like to have are where we are really focused more on like internal themes and less on the actual technique themes. And hopefully I'll do a good job of weaving those two things together tonight. But essentially, like if you were coming to a local class, tonight would be almost like sort of a vibe of like, hey y'all, we're a bunch of artists and we want to recharge our batteries. Not saying that our batteries are even low, but every battery needs to be recharged at some point. Every canteen runs empty or could. And so keeping it full, and that's the kind of class that I want to have tonight, is about creativity. And one thing that I do want to kind of preach about, but literally for about 5 seconds, is we really all need, in my opinion, social critic, we need to all stop thinking about creativity, and I imagine most of you don't, but we need to all, for those who do, we need to stop thinking about creativity like it's like the ability to sing really well. Or that it's some talent that we are all creative. We are all creative. It is not a talent to be creative. More often than not, and I think the books that I'm reading would verify this, it's an allowance that you are allowed to be creative, and we're going to be what creativity is this motivating energy and all that sort of stuff. That's not really what I'm commenting on, but your brain works creatively. And creation is a type of problem solving, even if it feels free of that rigor, it is. And so, like, your creativity grows. Like, as you become more creative, your creativity grows, right? Like, it's a skill, or it's it's something that can be worked. It's a way of thinking. Just like you get better at Sudoku, or you get better at something over time. Creativity, I'm not saying you're going to get better at it, but it develops the more you develop it. Right? And so tonight we're going to just kind of keep that focus in mind. I will say that this is coming from all these different excerpts of books I've been reading lately on creativity. I want to pick the right one, and I've been bouncing around on Amazon trying to pick.
Rita wanted you to share some of the books you've been reading. She wrote that on.
Okay, yeah, I will share the books. I'll put a little list together right now. Because I've been reading excerpts, I just don't want to misquote any of them. But we're going to talk about some of those ideas tonight. So anyway, if you're not into the vibe, that's totally fine. This will just be a guided Hoop Path class. If not, you can just pick up on every exercise. I'll be trying to sort of clue you in to ways that we can. I just want to say it one more time to underline it before I get up and forget about it. Your ability, your creativity, the way I'm talking about it tonight, is the same. It's a process that your brain runs through already. That it is not something that is lacking. It's just not been fully recognized. But that it's a way of thinking, And I do think we'll talk a little bit about what I think creative juices are, but that's sort of different. Like, what's fueling the creativity is not something we're going to get too deep into tonight, but just being creative, just allowing yourself to be creative. All right, so it's sway time for our dear Rex. If you have thoughts on creativity, this is the type of class where I would totally have opened it up to the whole room to talk as we're going through class tonight. So I'll try to pay attention to the comments. Yeah, well, it occurs, but I just want us to recognize that, let's just get started. All right. Audible breath in. The way into how I'm seeing creativity tonight is to think of it as a process already happening in your mind. That without this process, you would never think through a situation. You would never pick the best course. Creativity is the same process that keeps you alive. Audible breath in. It helps you see your way out. It helps you see your way up. It helps you see your way around. helps you see your way through. Audible breath in. Open. Open. If you consider it, I imagine that when you have felt your most creative, that even though you might not have said this at the time, I'm willing to bet that when you felt your most creative, you felt expanded. That in the height of your creative moments, that you felt bigger than self. That moment of being so deep in your new thoughts. Audible breath in is expansive. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Open, open, open. Audible breath in. Hey, let's see. There we go. Hey, Amber. Sweet. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and pick up our hoops now. Make sure I got the right song queued up. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be, there we go. I'm going to be suggesting exercises, but we're going to kind of stay in the focus of creativity. Audible breath in. And as I mentioned in the song before, for me, the creative feeling is a very expansive feeling. Audible breath in. And so for me, that means that the spaces that will be the most creative will be the biggest. And it makes me not want to think about things that would constrict that space. that's required to be fully creative. And one of the things that can restrict that space is wanting to be everything for everybody. It's an impossible and too big a problem for one person to solve. And it can tax all the creative juices. Audible breath in. So for our first exercise tonight, we're going to think about letting go of what other people think. But we're going to do it peacefully, not in a rejection of what other people think. But instead, like, understanding that our creativity is keeping us alive. So it's very specific to us. So even though someone else can give us insight, ultimately our creativity is the flow of us. So blocking out what other people think. Closing your eyes and just being with your hoop is an allowance of creativity. What feels good to you? What do you like? What could you watch or do over and over? There's no audience. There's no reaction. There's just you. Audible breath in. I think it's good to love the art you make, not be in love with the art you make, but to love it. breath in. Okay. Actually, yeah. Well, no, I think I played that, yes. Okay. All right. Sorry. I was picking up the next track, guys. Okay, I hope you guys are with me. How you doing, Tara? Everything's good? Okay. All right, so we're going to do, actually, yeah. Okay, so in one of the books that I am reading, or an excerpt that I don't want to come off like I'm some expert on this when I'm not, but they were in the book, he's basically making the case for creativity. And he says that a lot of the best ideas come from totally different circles of thought, that something so far over there, that really creative people have a way of taking something so far over there, and somehow in their brain they allow it to cross with something else, and that sort of is this creates this kind of energy towards creative and original thoughts, as much as you could have some. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to try that out, although we do it already, with taking one idea in one circle and bringing it into the other. No, in reality, these are the same circle. It's called hooping. But we're going to mix things up. And so I'll show you an example of what I mean. One thing I could do is I could bring in warrior, but then also two birds. So I'm thinking about my turning, which is warrior, right? Just my overall posture. But then I can think about two birds, and how would, like these birds, which would be my hands, how does the movement change as I focus on that? A more direct example would be like if I'm waist hooping and I move into two birds, then it's like I'm bringing together sort of two ideas from two different circles into my movement. It's really hard to do, but there are some people that can bring in their old dance background, like if they grew up social dancing or whatever, they can bring in those movements into their hooping. That would be sort of creating this Vesca of Pisces I'm talking about. If I'm using that right. So I'm going to take this a few levels up for me, just to give you a nudge in the direction that I'm going. I'm going to maintain samurai grip as much as my memory will let me. But I'm going to let my hands open, and they'll be in open samurai. And then creatively, I want to start to think of my hands as two birds, not these tools that I'm using to accomplish something, but it's sort of flying off and having their own experience. So give yourself two separate goals and see how they come together. already, it can be really fun to explore point and 2-point while maintaining contact on the night side. There I am. 1 second. Let me grab some. Absolutely, Jennifer. I totally agree with that. Actually, I think that's a big part of staying focused. I think one of the ways that, not to go against what I was just saying, but sometimes one of the ways that we can find our creativity or where it really helps us is in a situation where the environment cannot change or we don't want it to change. But we want new ideas into it. And so it's like there's this idea that is a type of restriction, but that restricting force of it actually concentrates the energy and forces us to think about new ideas. But it's good to think of it like it's not like a real thing. It's just something that we create, a restriction that we create just so that we can focus on something better. Like a committed relationship would be that way, where you are both agreeing to use your creativity to keep that thing working. And so what we're going to do right now is Tara looks a little whooped to be doing this next exercise, but I'm going to try it. She's tired. Hey, Louisa. All right, but what I'm going to do is pick one motion and do that motion for the whole song. And so I'm going to do shoulder hooping for this song. But you can pick one thing, and that'll be sort of your condition. It could be second current, it could be angles, it could just be off body in general. It could really be any concept, but you're going to sort of use that as this agreement that you're going to stay within the bounds of it to sort of push your creativity through it.
found a message in the bottom. You surprised.
I'm gonna stay with shoulder hooping.
Left them on the sand with broken castle. With the change, done with the charades. Left the mess of what we built and turned to ashes. One of these days I'm gonna have my way. Have my way. It's gonna be hell to pay. Swept away. Seen your wicked ways. It's gonna be hell to pay.
Recognize you back in many bad days. I could take a picture from the back pain. If it let me, I would never take a day and let it wait another second. Take a minute, get the facts straight. Imagine in the middle of the moonlight. Together we can do whatever you like. You right. Doing a vision and feel the position to be given to you full time, no lie. I've been thinking that we can figure the reason and we can keep it together in the open. Oh well, when they're hanging and waiting, able to see that we did it when they had each other to broken. Hold down, not a holiday here, but we can celebrate today and invite a lot of your friends. And if you think I forget about your in this race, better know that it's hell to pay.
One of these days, I'm gonna have my way. It's gonna be hell to pay. Swept away. I've seen no wicked ways. It's gonna be hell to pay. One of these days, I'm gonna have my way. It's gonna be hell to pay. Swept away. I've seen no wicked ways. It's gonna be hell to pay. Swept away yesterday. Saw your reflection in the water. A different shade of red and gray. You found a message in the bottom. You surprised. Your promise washed away. Left them on the sand with broken castle. With the change, I'm done with the charades.
Audible breath in.
Left the mess of what we built and turned to ashes. One of these days I'm gonna have my way. It's gonna be hell to pay. Swept away. I've seen no wicked ways. It's gonna be hell to pay.
If you can find like your zen with doing the same technique for an entire song,
It's gonna be hell to pay.
you can feel that it,
Swept away.
in a way, it feels more expansive because there's not the restriction of what next. There's not that constriction of what next, what should I do. It's just like, well, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to do for the next 3.5 minutes or whatever. All right. Pooping in to say hi. I just noticed that. It's kind of funny. Okay. One second. All right. So I think, and we've done these as creative exercises many times. This is sort of a hoop path thing in a way, but is in forcing yourself to be creative. And in this, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to play a track, and you're going to try to find yourself in that track. And so I know that sounds kind of, out there, but you're going to try to feel your way into the track. Like let's imagine that like the closest friend you have has invited you to a place that you don't really normally dig. and you want to try, for your friend's sake, for the sake of the whole evening, to fall in to the vibe of that place. And that's essentially what we're going to do to sort of open up our creativity as an exercise. If you've heard this song before, then you know it. If you haven't heard this song before, the song kind of wanders and moves around. And what we're going to try to do is, as dancers, we're going to try to find ourselves in this song somehow. And that can mean a million different things. I could practice one move during the whole song, if that's what I found. I could try to flow with every beat, if that's what... And you're not trying to find you as much as this moment. For me, I just found my first technique that I like with this song, and that's isolations and just moving the hoop vertically. Nice, T. So Tara found her move, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think I figured it out.
Move my body. Well, I try not to move my body. I usually move my body when I do that.
She says she usually tries to not move her body, but she usually moves her body, and she was trying to not move her body to do that move. Nice. Okay. That was fun. Nice. I'm glad you can peep outside. I guess we could sort of hear, but we couldn't do the cameras out there. Good. You know. Yeah, it was some ask. Okay, sweet. All right, let's see. What time is it? Okay, I think we should do. Yeah, I think we should do one kind of nice sprint type song. Yeah, we'll do one. We'll do one more sort of not high energy necessarily, but kind of up there song. Now we will completely play with this idea. We've done this before, but this is another example of two circles sort of creating a new situation. One circle could be waist hooping, shoulder hooping, whatever you want to do, core hooping. The other one could be the idea of hot coals under your feet. And so you are being this badass. You chose to walk out onto the hot coals, and you know that as long as you keep your feet moving, that you're not going to get burned on those coals, and that you can literally dance across them. So two circles for me right now could be keeping my feet moving because of the hot coals, core hooping. Third circle, which might be my hands, and just to keep it easy, I'm just going to do kind of like, any type of motion with my hands to the beat. Throw that back and bounce, watch it jiggle on me. So I'm moving my feet, hot coals, keeping the hoop up. Now I'm moving my hands to it. Watch it jiggle on me. Shake, shake, let me see you work that. Going, heart rate up. Throw that back and bounce, watch it jiggle on me. Bounce, watch it jiggle on me. I think one of the things that really helps me is to imagine that my creativity is a part of my natural process. So all the things that I would do for my body, my mind, my spirit are in service of my creativity, right? So just as like getting my heart rate up is good for my body, the feeling my body gets is good for my creativity. Bounce, watch it jiggle on me. Shake, shake, let me see you work that. 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 Okay. That was our final sort of sprint. That's not what I wanted Okay, there we go. Totally doing hot calls. Nice tossing. Nice, Mimi. Afro-Brazilian. Sweet. Okay, guys, I think we'll just free hoop from here and just sort of let you do whatever you would like to do. Stretch. Unwind from the plane. Whatever you have to do.
You keep saying all the things that I wish I could say. Leaving no room for you making up for mistakes. Had me lost where you could never find out my fate.
This is our free hoop that we won't be.
Trying to make a way.
Nice, Mimi. Wow, 40 years. Nice.
One day, every time today. Taking one day, every time today. Keeping up with your love ain't a sure thing, but I'll keep holding on. I got faith in you. Ooh, ooh, I got faith in you. Ooh, ooh. It's been too long since the day, that we stood here and tried to be okay. I'm keeping you held around just to burn up a day, and I was still here trying to make a way. Keeping up with your love ain't a sure thing, but I'll keep holding on. I got faith in you. Ooh, ooh, I got faith in you. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Nice. Angle hooking outside. Nice, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Rex. There you go. Thank you, Jennifer. Have a great night. Nice. Sick of it. All right. I think we'll do one super. Not that one. There was something super slow and. Thank you guys for joining us, and Tara, thanks for sticking around after a long day at the airport, and thank you guys. I will be back Thursday, and I believe we're going to do a shoulders class, I think, on Thursday. This is the last song, and just a chance to stretch and unwind or keep hooping. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Shelley. Nice. Okay, I see. Yeah, I did understand you correctly. Well, thanks for joining us through all that traffic, or through all that travel. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Carla, thank you. Thank you, Mimi, Rita.